Hello, everybody. Welcome to our second episode, it's number 2 now, of Bedlam, Behind Mental Illness. If you haven't watched the first one, rude, go watch it. so, I'm your host with my best friend here. So, my name is Randi-lee. This is Renata de Carmen, and she has done the research again. I promise I will have a turn to do research. She's just so much better at it than I am. She really, yeah, she is.
I don't think so. I mean, good try, but I don't think so.
I'll prove me right.
Okay, so we're just kind of continuing to talk a little bit about the four humors.
Remember we mentioned those?
Humors, yeah. To start with, though, I wanted to sort of correct or update something from the last episode. I said I would provide the date that the Bedlam Hospital originated, and then I didn't. I don't know if you noticed that.
I didn't.
So it was founded in 1247, just outside the walls of the city of London, and then moved a short distance to Moorfields in 1676.
1247.
1247. Yep.
That's like Castle's time.
Yep.
Dang.
So there is a site, historicengland.org.uk, which provides a lot of details about it. It was just such a deep dive. It was really interesting.
She's going to, she doesn't know this yet, but she does right now. She's going to go deeper and dive more into that place because that sounds really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Medieval.
Like,
yeah. Very interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So
there's your next topic to do because we're like, hey,
Okay.
What's the next topic? Well, it's going to be that one. There you go.
Remind me when we're done because I'll forget. Sources for today are gavi.org, gavi.org, and studysmarter.co.uk. And I think that's it. I'm not really sure. I don't know.
We're trying, guys.
I am trying. Okay, so in ancient Greece, the physician Hippocrates and his disciples explained the healthy body is composed of 4 balanced humors. We talked a little bit about it in the last episode.
Yeah, that's where we got the idea to go more into it because then, like Renata mentioned it in the last episode, now I'm doing some research on bipolar. Yep, we're going to have one of those episodes soon. And it came up again because Hippocrates is known as the father of medicine.
Mm-hmm.
So I said to her, I sent her a text right away. I was like, you know what? This is coming up a lot. We maybe should just like,
oops, sorry.
No, that's good. Do you like a full-on episode of it?
Yeah. I'm going to give a little bit more background and then I'll talk about the 4 humors. So he and his disciples, rather than considering ill health to consist of different sicknesses with separate causes, the Hippocratic people understood illness as a process of imbalance, not invasion.
Okay.
The body was a system of 4 fluid humors: black bile, yellow bile, phlegm, and blood. If the humors were in balance, then the body was in health. If the humors were in imbalance, then the body was sick.
Yeah.
So for the Hippocratic doctors, food, drink, various forms of purging were the main means of restoring the proper balance of the body. So the body was like kind of considered to be a microcosm of the universe at large. And like, so for the universe or the world, as they knew it then, equilibrium, in their opinion, depended on 4 elements: earth, air, fire, and water.
A lot of 4s. Like a theme going on with the 4s.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, right. I'm sure that they tied it in. So it took some 2,000 years for the 4 humor theory to lose its explanatory power in the eyes of Western medicine.
Yeah, because Hippocrates, what year is Hippocrates?
Oh my God, don't ask
a million years ago.
Don't ask me questions like that.
I mentioned it in the bipolar one, what year Hippocrates was.
I forget, and I should have brought my old notes with me so that I could have looked at it.
But it was really long time ago.
Yeah.
Like very long time ago.
Yeah.
So 2,000 years, is a long time, but
was it like 400, 200 or something BC?
I forget. He was like BC, like old.
So then this next blurb says, if Hippocrates and his students were wrong, they were also brilliant. Here are a few profound and enduring contributions they made to medical thinking. So they understood illness as a natural, rational, observable thing.
Which sounds like but I mean, even after Hippocrates or whatever, and them saying that it is, people are still going on about demon possession.
Yeah.
So that's actually a really big deal.
Yeah. Up until then, that was it. illness was supernatural.
Even
yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, long time.
Punishment by the gods, demon possession. So Hippocrates saying that rather than asking who causes the sickness, we should ask by what process does the sickness occur? By what observable process does the sickness occur?
Yes, yeah.
And then there's the writing up medical case histories. That was a thing that they came up with. Yeah.
I thought that would be like more newer. Yeah, those are words. But yeah, I figured that would be more like
no, it goes way
1200s or something, like,
way back. But it was Hippocrates, they call them, who established the kind of objective, detailed observation as a medical standard. So they wrote case histories, so you could see patterns, and then you could kind of base assumptions on those patterns that you saw.
Imagine if they actually, like, everyone was like, hey, let's all do this, instead of some of them being like, no, Hippocrates, you are definitely wrong, I'm going to do my own thing over here. Imagine how much further along we might be if everyone did what they did.
So interestingly, and that's somewhere in here, when the printing press became a thing, that's kind of what happened, because they were able to disseminate information more.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that makes sense.
Then they came up with the prognosis. So like they would do their case notes, and there's an easily sort of traceable line from the gathering of case notes to the observation of patterns to prognosis. Yeah. And then there's the defined medical ethics, the Hippocratic Oath, which we talked about last time.
Yes.
So doctors today, they do swear to an oath. It's just a modified one.
Yeah.
The theory of the four humors was very influential for public health in medieval Britain. The idea of unbalanced humors making you ill dictated what people thought was good to eat and drink.
Nice.
And it even impacted your personality.
Yeah. The funny thing is, even nowadays, what you eat can impacts your health and can impact your personality.
Sure, because it impacts how you feel, which impacts your behavior. Yeah.
Yeah, 100% it does.
These guys were smart.
These guys were really smart. And they were like, okay, I heard this joke totally off top. I heard that if these guys were around in banana years, they would be bred.
Oh my God. That's really bad.
It's so bad, but it's so good. Actually, I got that. That's my mom's birthday card.
Oh.
That I'm going to be giving her next month. She
Then
doesn't watch the show.
Is that a comment on her age?
Maybe.
Poor mother. Oh Lordy. Okay, what else was I? Where was I?
Sorry.
So they did a lot of rebalancing of the humors, as we said, by purging or by bleeding. Bleeding was another.
Like leeching, or like actually cutting and.
I think I go into it a little bit more, but I think both.
Yeah, I think both.
The theory of the four humors did not do much to improve public health. While it was the theory about illness that people believed in, it was not correct. As a result, public health issues that were causing the rapid spread of diseases like plague and leprosy were not properly addressed and fixed for far too long.
Right. And it's so amazing how the four humors and Hippocrates made a huge impact. Like, we're talking about them years and years later. I mean, the Hippocratic Oath is because of Hippocrates. And yet what he got everyone to believe with those the four, I cannot talk today, the four humors. It didn't help their health.
It wasn't.
They needed some
wasn't
soap
correct,
and antibiotics.
Yeah. But I guess you start somewhere, right?
Right. Everything's got to start somewhere.
Yeah. So to go a little bit more into what the four humors were, blood was one of the humors. And it was associated with air and believed to be hot and wet. Your positive attributes were that you were optimistic, social, and confident. Your negative qualities were that you were impulsive and unpredictable. So that's blood, or the sanguine humor.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And so if your blood was like out of balance, that's what
you would be displaying more of the negatives.
Okay.
Yeah. Phlegm, or the phlegmatic humor, was associated with water and believed to be cold and wet. Your positive attributes were that you were dependable, calm, and observant. Your negative qualities were that you were lazy and resistant to change.
When you said that right there, that you're lazy, I'm thinking, well, yeah, when I'm sick and I'm all phlegmy and gross, of course I'm lazy. That's what it made me think of.
I don't even know if the phlegmatic humor type is even in any way it should be, or connected to actual phlegm.
Probably not.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. But that's what it made. That was the connection I made.
Yeah, absolutely. Yellow bile
So
is associated with fire and believed to be hot and dry. Positive attributes are that you're ambitious and charismatic. Negative qualities were that you're short-tempered, dominating, and irritable. So again, if you're showing
my yellow bile can be really out of whack
sometimes. Yeah, so I guess if you're showing far too much of those negative qualities, then they would say that you needed to have whatever treatment takes care of that. And then black bile, or the melancholic humor.
The depression.
Yeah. Associated with earth, believed to be cold and dry. Your positive attributes are that you're kind and creative. Your negative qualities are that you're perfectionistic, quiet, and often unhappy.
Well, that one describes me more. I guess my black bile gets balanced and then unbalanced a lot.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate the word bile.
And it's gross.
Sorry,
it's just gross. They're all gross.
They are. But that one just
yellow and black bile, blood and phlegm.
Well, because they're the fluids of your body, right? But like.
The theory of the four humors remained the dominant theory of medicine during the medieval era. Although the ideas of Hippocrates were by now over 1,000 years old, people still adhered to them.
Wow.
They actually used his works to train physicians. And they did this because it was trusted and it didn't contradict the church's teachings.
I think that's a really big point.
Yeah.
Because back then it was all about what the church deemed correct.
All right. You weren't allowed. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. The four humors dictated how people were diagnosed and the available remedies. Physicians would diagnose an illness and then tell the apothecary what to make to cure the patient. So in those days, physicians were a man usually university educated, who would diagnose and prescribe treatments. They didn't perform surgery or create remedies. The apothecary was the one who made and sold remedies.
Oh, okay. So they're like our pharmacy.
Yes, like a pharmacist. Yeah, absolutely.
Just a really fancy word.
So some of the more popular remedies based on the humoral theory, phlebotomy or bleeding. So
phlebotomy? Hold on.
Phlebotomy.
Phlebotomy. That is a really fun word. I have never heard it before.
Phlebotomy.
Phlebotomy.
So the surgeon would cut into the skin or use leeches to drain blood.
Okay, that's what I
from the body to rebalance the humors. However, doctors could take this too far and people could die from blood loss.
Shocking. I am so surprised.
I am pretty sure in history there are cases of people dying probably much sooner than they had to die.
Yeah.
Like royalty, people like that, because of these treatments.
Right. So phlebotomy.
Bleeding.
That's phlebotomy. We're gonna do lobotomies one day too, guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Phlebotomy. I love it. I can't get over that word. It's so much fun to say. Sorry.
Purging was done when a physician believed that someone had too much yellow bile in them. Food was thought to be used to create the humors, so a way of rebalancing them was to get the food out of your body. This would be done using an emetic, which would make the patient vomit, or a clyster, which would make them go to the toilet.
Oh, so it's coming out one way or the other.
Literally purging, purging.
I figured that they would just purge put their finger down, but they actually came up with
something. I don't know
medicine.
What. It would be interesting to find out what they actually used.
Yeah.
I didn't dig that deep.
Yeah. Maybe one day.
That would be interesting. Then there's a theory of opposites. So it's kind of linked to the first two remedies. Since the theory of four humors dictated that illness was due to an imbalance of the humors, remedies would be created to rebalance them. For example, if a person had an excess of phlegm, which was seen as cold and wet, the physician might prescribe a poultice of something hot and dry like pepper or mustard seed. So that's where poultices came into effect.
Interesting. Yeah, they've used poultices a long time now. Yeah.
You can't really fault the logic.
No, the logic, especially with the information that they had at the time. I mean, at least they were trying something.
Yep.
And looking more inwardly at what's going on, not you're being punished by the gods, or you're demon possessed.
Exactly.
It definitely is a step in the right direction.
They look deeper.
Yeah.
When the Renaissance came about in the 1500s, the theory of four humors remained central to medicine. However, other ideas and discoveries began to compete with it.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, some developments that affected the theory of the four humors during the Renaissance were the printing press.
Yep.
So this came around in the 1440s. In particular, the printing press allowed control of what was printed to move away from the church and into the hands of the state and the people.
Okay.
This meant that it was easier for new ideas about medicine to spread, regardless of whether the church agreed with them or not.
Which, again, is a very big deal.
Yeah. And then there were people who made contributions to the field of anatomy. So they began to understand more about the human body.
Your arm bone's connected to your rib bone. Your rib bone's connected to your vertebrae bone. I don't know the song, guys. I'm making it up.
I was with you. They started to develop surgeries to treat wounds and amputations, including using ligatures to tie up blood vessels. So this is all starting to be figured out.
Oh, so that's the Renaissance. Whenever you hear Renaissance, I say you, I'm assuming everyone thinks the exact same way as I do. But I hear Renaissance and I think about the art because that is what they taught us in school. The Renaissance is all about art, but sounds like medicine took a huge turn.
Yeah, I think there was like enlightenment going on all over the place.
Wow, that is huge.
And then they were also learning about the circulatory system of our arteries and veins and how the body pumped blood around. Yeah. So we can see that many new medical ideas appeared during the Renaissance. The theory of the four humors remained a popular explanation for disease despite the rise of medical understanding and publication. By 1700, physicians didn't take the theory seriously, but it was still a common belief among people.
Okay, hold on. So the 1400s, they're starting to be like, no, there's other things we could do here. But it was still another 300 years.
Yeah, because you have to think, they were able to print and disseminate information that way, but who was able to read?
Oh,
not common people, right?
That's true,
Yeah.
So the 1700s was finally when they're like, no.
Yeah. And then I have a question for you.
All right.
With a bit of an answer.
Okay, I'm ready.
Do you think the theory of the four humors is still around and used today?
You know what? I don't know anybody who does use it, but I betcha somewhere in this great big world that we live in, I betcha somewhere somebody does.
Even if the language has changed.
Right?
Yeah.
I betcha somewhere somebody does.
I kind of found an answer. The theory of the four humors fell out of favor with medical science after significant developments during the Renaissance, etc. However, some modern tests, such as the Myers-Briggs personality test, has a basis in the four humors to determine personality types.
Yeah, so they are still kind of, right? Because the melancholy personality and the sanguine personality. Yeah. So
I was thinking about personality dimensions or true colors. I think it was called 900 years ago, with the blue and the orange and the yellow and the green.
Yes.
Interesting, right?
Interesting. So I always learn something new. It's great, and hopefully everybody else learns something new.
Yeah.
So I lost my train of thought. Let me try this again. So don't forget to tune in tomorrow morning for the Write or Die show at 9:30 Eastern. We will be having another guest, and we will be having more of these episodes coming up, of course. So we're trying to do 2 a month to start at least. If everyone loves them lots, who knows? Maybe we'll do more. And remember, one of us does the research, the other has no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So it's fun. And if anybody ever has any suggestions about what we should talk about for it, what kind of research, what, if maybe we've talked about something, you're like, I want to know more about such and such, throw it in the comments. We will read them.
Yeah.
We will do it.
There's endless things that we could talk about.
Totally.
In this topic. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So
bye. Thank you.